So this is what YNAB is going to look like after you've set it up. Um, when you do actually go in and start the setup process, it's not going to look like this. You're only going to see these categories and these line items here, and you're only going to see the available amount here. YNAB does not want to overwhelm you when you're setting up your budget. So all of these features on this interface, they're not going to be there. But as you work through that setup process, YNAB is also going to stack upon that and introduce different features to you. So what YNAB wants you to do first is to set goals for each of your budget items. This is not assigning money to your budget items, but it's giving you a goal. So when you do have money come in, YNAB is going to tell you how much money you would like to put in there based on the goals that you set. So I'll kind of show you how that works. Right here, let's talk about this person. This pretend person. We'll say they have a rent, they don't have a mortgage. Well, YNAB is going to let you change the names of each of your line items. So I've already got it clicked. I'm going to right click it, and I'm just going to say it's rent. I don't want it to say mortgage. And I'll press OK. I'm going to go ahead and give rent a goal. So right over here, you'll see this create rent target. You'll click that. And YNAB's going to ask you what kind of a target this is. There's spending targets. These are categories where you're going to be able to spend money on it as you go. Savings balance targets. This means you are saving up money and you want to hold on to that amount. Say, for an emergency fund, you might say, okay, I want to save $10,000 in my emergency fund. And if I end up spending any of that, I want YNAB to alert me and say, hey, you need $10,000 here. So that's going to be a savings balance goal. You've got your monthly savings builder. This is for those true expenses that you have coming up, your home repairs, stuff like that. You might decide just to set aside a monthly amount of money until that need actually comes up. So YNAB's going to say, okay, every month you just want to put money in here. There's really no end goal, but every month we're going to start building this fund up. And then your monthly debt payment. This is for those of you who have your credit cards or student loans. YNAB's going to allow you to set up a debt goal as well. But for rent, this is a spending target because we're going to be spending money along the way. We'll say this person needs a $1,500. Their rent is $1,500. They pay it monthly. And YNAB's going to ask you to say what day. We'll say this person pays their rent on the 5th. Save target. And here you can see YNAB auto-populated the goal here. It says, hey, you need $1,500 by the 5th of this month. Over here, this little 0 under available is orange, indicating that there is a target set here. We haven't assigned the money for it. When we do assign the money, it will be green. So it's saying, hey, we've got a goal here. We need to go ahead and assign money for it. I do want to show y'all groceries. Groceries, for instance, is one of those things that people tend to think in terms of weeks. Like say you need $150 per week for groceries. YNAB's going to allow you to set a weekly target that you can keep up with as well. It's going to help you kind of pace yourself throughout the month. So real quick, I'll show you how that works. You'll create your grocery target. And this person wants $150 instead of monthly. We're going to go weekly. And let's say they go shopping every Sunday. If it's not Sunday, you can pick the day of the week, but we'll say every Sunday. I'm going to save that target. Of course, there's only one Sunday left in November, so it's going to say you need $150 for the rest of November to fund your groceries. All right, so now I'm going to fast forward to a budget that already has all of its targets set and ready to go. As you can see, there's a bunch of orange here saying we've got goals ready to go. We've got the goals set here. I've also arranged my monthly bills into date order. You can simply do that by clicking and dragging and putting it wherever you want. But you can see the date that they're due right here. And then what you're going to do is you're going to go ahead and link your checking account, your savings account, your credit card account to YNAB so that YNAB knows how much money we have ready to assign to these items. So I'll quickly walk you guys through how that happens. You'll see this add account button right here. I'm gonna go ahead and click it. And it gives you two options. You can do a linked account. This is where you're actually linking your bank account to YNAB. So all of your transactions will be automatically uploaded to YNAB for you to then go in and categorize. Same with your paychecks. It's automatically going to show up. Or you can do an unlinked. This is where you are manually putting in the amounts that you have in checking account, your transactions, you're doing it all on your own. So for this example, I'm going to show you guys how to do an unlinked one. If you do press linked, YNAB's going to walk you through it. But we'll go ahead and set up a checking, not a checking account, checking. All right. It's checking. And you're going to let YNAB know the balance that you have in it. We'll say this person has $4,000 in their checking account. All right, we're done. We'll see what happens. Okay, cool. So over here, you'll see that we are in the checking page of our budget. This is the stomping grounds for any activity that happens in your checking account. Any transaction, if it's linked, it will automatically show here. This is where you will categorize things. And up here, you can see the balance that you have. Let's see what that did to our budget. Okay, up here where it says ready to assign, we now have $4,000 that YNAB wants us to find a job for. And there are multiple ways that you can do this. You can do it individually. See, I have generosity here. I like to put 10% into generosity. So it's not really something I can make a goal for, especially if I have like a variable income. So for this one, I might come in here under assigned, and 10% of 4,000 is 400. So I can just automatically just put that in. And over here, we'll see that we now have $400 available. Another thing that you can do is you can just click an item. This person is saving up $35.72 every month. It's very random, but they've got a goal of 500 by December 15th. So that's of 2023. So that's the amount they have to set aside. So I have it selected. And you can click these little links here, and YNAB will automatically budget it based on the link that you pick. So underfunded, or what did you assign last month, or what did you spend last month? I'm going to click the underfunded amount because I've created a target for grocery or for Christmas. So I want to go ahead and budget what was underfunded. So I'm just going to click underfunded, and as you can see, YNAB went ahead and did that. Another magical way that you can assign money is up here next to ready to assign. It has this little assign drop-down menu. I'm going to click it, and right here it says underfunded $3,952. And what that is that's the amount of money that I need to fully fund all of the targets within my budget. So all I have to do is click that. It's going to let me know, hey, so there's 4 categories here that are going to be partially funded. YNAB has decided what those categories are going to be. You can change that. If you disagree with what YNAB thinks is best for you, you can go in and change that. But I'm going to go ahead and press assign money. And we go down and we can see all of these greens are categories that YNAB has fully funded with the money that we had up here. YNAB decided that, it says that we've got 2 weeks, 2 Sundays in November. I'm not sure why. Do we have 2 more? No, we don't. But okay, so YNAB for some reason says 150 here for groceries, eating out, because we have 1 more week left in November. It automatically was like, hey, you only need a week's worth of money there. So that was actually kind of smart of it. And then down here, home improvement, YNAB's like, oh, we can't fully fund this amount that you said, but we can put 4428 in. I might decide to change that. I might say, you know what? I care more about home improvement this month. I want to take some money out of vacation. You can do that by just clicking right here, move, say I want to add just $100 into home improvement. I'll just move $100 to, and I'll find home improvement right here. Press OK. and that money moved over. Now, neither of these are fully funded, but I'm happy with the amount that they have been funded. All right. And so now once you've assigned all of the money in your checking account, you can do the same thing with savings. You can add your savings account by going over here, click add account, and it's the exact same steps. You'll go ahead and assign whatever money you have in savings into a category. Say you have a savings account that has your emergency fund in it. Well, right here, I don't have a savings category group. So what I'll go ahead and do is I'll add a category group. I'll call it savings. And you'll see YNAB auto-populated it right here. There's a little plus sign right next to savings. You can click to add the emergency fund line item. It'll go right here. And then once I have my savings up here, same process we took with checking account, we can go ahead and assign that amount of money into our emergency fund and move forward. All right. And then, okay, for those of you, I know a big question that many people have had about YNAB is how do I make my credit card work with this budgeting software? That can be confusing for a lot of people. So I'm going to show y'all how you would make a credit card work in YNAB. So first thing you're going to do is you're going to want to go ahead and add your credit card to YNAB. Again, we're going to do unlinked today. Give it a nickname. We'll say Visa. Account type, it's a credit card. And we'll say this person has, I don't know, a $500 balance on their credit card. So YNAB is going to prompt you to come up with a plan to pay off the balance on your credit card. What YNAB wants you to do is they want you to have your credit card paid off in full so that you're not taking on interest payments and stuff like that. So they're going to prompt you to set some goals to get this paid off. You can either create a target to pay it off over time, or you can go ahead and say, hey, you know what? I've got $500. So decide I'm just going to pay off the entire balance. Well, this person doesn't have $500 right now. We're still working on funding all the rest of the stuff. So we're going to create a target to pay off the balance over time. And then you've got options. You can pay it off by a specific date, or you can pay, excuse me, a specific amount every month. We'll pay it off by a specific date, let's say July of 2023. And YNAB's going to tell me right here, okay, cool. You need to set aside $55.60 every month to get your credit card balance paid off by July 2023. This person doesn't want to do $55.60 every month. They've decided they can set aside $50. So instead they're going to go pay a specific amount every month, $50. Okay, cool. YNAB says, great, go that route. You'll pay it off in 10 months. Awesome. This person's good with that. Next. Done. All right. So now we're in the Visa stomping ground. See how we have checking here? We've got the Visa here, and this is the same thing as your checking account. This is where you're going to track all of your spending with your credit card, all of your payments. It's all right here. And let's take a look at how that's going to look in our budget. Okay, right here under credit card payments, we see our Visa, and Visa has this fun little orange warning sign of, hey, we've got a goal to set here. We need to assign some money. Over here on the left side where it shows the Visa, it's going to show you the balance of your credit card. The goal, whenever we come in here and we go ahead and budget this, you want the payment amount to eventually be the same as the total balance amounts. What that means is that you're going ahead and you're paying off your credit card, ideally every week, but at least every month, so that you're not accruing those interest payments. So if this number and this number are the same, that means you are balancing out your credit card every month and you're enjoying those points, but not the interest rates that come with it. So that's kind of the goal there. All right, so now that we have our budget set up, Now's the time to put it into action, to execute off of this amazing plan that we have put into place. And it's time to go spend our money, which is so fun. So let's say that this person went to the grocery store and they bought some groceries for Thanksgiving. Thanksgiving's coming up, so they've got $150 to go spend on Thanksgiving. So what you'll see over here in checking, if you have linked your accounts, you'll see a little dot right here that says, hey, you've got a transaction in here. It needs to be categorized. Since we're doing this manually, I'm going to have to go in. I went grocery shopping. I'm going to go into checking and I'm going to add a transaction. And you're going to do that by clicking this add transaction link right here. And you're going to put the date that you went shopping, where you went shopping. This person went to Aldi. It's groceries. YNAB's so smart. It knows that Aldi is a grocery store, so it automatically put it here. Say you bought other things from Aldi, like, I don't know, a home, like some decorations or something. You can type in, home improvement. I put home. We'll put an H there, and it'll show you some other line items that you have. But we did. YNAB was correct. We went grocery shopping there. And the outflow will say we spent $150. It's a good week for this person. They're right on budget. Hit save. What you're going to see up here is our working balance now went down to $3,850. And they've got this uncleared balance of $150. What that basically means is we haven't told YNAB whether or not this transaction has actually hit our bank account. Sometimes they go into pending. And so YNAB wants to know, when does this actually hit your checking account? And so when it does hit your checking account, you just go over here, click this little C. It'll turn green, and over here, this uncleared balance is now 0, and your cleared balance now matches the working balance that you had before. This is going to be really helpful. I highly recommend keeping track of what's going on up here, because when you go in to reconcile your account, it's going to be important to see what you have as uncleared, because oftentimes when your budget is not lining up with what you actually have in checking, it's because something wasn't marked as cleared when it actually was. And in order to reconcile, you're just going to go up here, click this reconcile button, and YNAB's going to ask you, is this the amount that you have available in checking? In our case, yes, it is. So I'm going to click yes, and YNAB would just have you move forward, celebrate a little bit. We're doing good. Say it's no. Say we actually had, I don't know, $3,500 in checking. I'm going to let YNAB know it's $3,500. YNAB's going to tell you what the difference is, and it's going to kind of walk you through some steps that you can take in order to make sure everything's balanced out and reconciled. So it's a really fun feature. I know a lot of people have really wanted a good budgeting software that will help them reconcile their budgets. YNAB will walk you through that. But going along with that rolling with the punches theme, say you cannot figure out what happened to this $350. We're going to go ahead and continue. YNAB's going to say, you know what? Let's just go ahead and create an adjustment and move forward. As you continue working with YNAB, you're going to get to know it better, and this will happen less often. But we're going to roll with the punches. We're going to say, I couldn't figure out what happened with this $350. So I'm going to create an adjustment. I'm going to click this button over here. And YNAB has gone ahead and taken away that $350. It's like, okay, we're now going to work with what we have here. So keep that in mind as you're moving forward with working with YNAB and reconciling. All right, so we spent our money at groceries. Let's see what that did to our budget. We're going to go down here to groceries, and under here in the activity column, it says we spent $150, and now we have $0 available. So we know we are done grocery shopping. Up here, it says -400. That's because we played around with the reconciliation feature, and YNAB's like, no, you can't just like get rid of $350 and not deal with it. So YNAB is going to ask you to go ahead and remove some money in some of your categories. If this were a real scenario, I would take money from vacation, home improvement until, you know, we've got a zero up here again. So just know when you do go in and reconcile, if you do, you know, make that adjustment and move forward, it's not going to mess things up. YNAB's going to have you take care of the difference in your budget. All right, so that's how you spend money. That's how you track money. One more example is if you go spend money with your credit card. Let's see what YNAB does with that. Okay, so this person was invited to go out to eat this week, and they're like, yay, I have $50 here. We're always asking the budget if we can go spend the money. The budget says, yes, you got $50 to go out to eat. Awesome. Well, this person has a credit card that gives them points for at certain restaurants. So they're going to go ahead and use their credit card at this restaurant. The transaction, again, will automatically show here if it's linked. It's not right now in this example, so I'm going to add that transaction. It was today, we'll say. Oh, where did this person go? We've got a restaurant nearby called Harding Del Rey. It's a favorite of mine. So this person went to Harding Del Rey. YNAB knows because I eat there a lot. At this point, it's a smart budgeting app. It knows Harding Del Rey means I have gone out to eat. I can change that if I need to. And I spent, you know, just for fun, I spent $55. I was over budget by $5. Oh man. And I'm going to click save. All right, so our balance just went up to $550 from $500. Again, it's going to have this uncleared button. I'll clear it whenever it hits my account, but I'm just being proactive right now. I'm going to put the transaction in before it happens. Over here where it says payment, now YNAB is saying you need to make a $100 payment. If we're putting in that $50 per month that you're using to pay off this balance, plus the money that you just spent over here, we need to make this payment, this $100 payment. So keep that in mind. And let's see what this did to our budget. Over here at Visa, it's like, okay, $100, you need to set that aside. And then eating out, I went over $5 in eating out. YNAB automatically pulled as much as it could from the eating out budget item, and it went ahead and made it available so we could make this payment. But notice we actually spent $55. So this really should say $105. And so we're going to have to find a way to cover that $5. And one fun little feature that YNAB has is you can make little equations. So say we're like, okay, home maintenance, I'm going to pull $5 from home maintenance and put it over here into eating out to cover that expense to roll with the punches. You can click this little box here where it says 120 and say, you don't know what 120 minus 5 is. You can make your own equation. You can do 120 minus 5 equals 115. And now I can go up here and I can make this 55. Okay, now this is zeroed out and our payment is now 105. So we are ready to go. YNAB has set aside the amount of money that we need to pay off what we spent eating out and to continue getting ahead on paying off this balance.